What's everybody?
Fancy meeting you here again.
And again, Gemma, it's an absolute pleasure. We just seem to be crossing paths these days.
Sure, we're here in the Devil's Glen, appropriately named Devil's Glen, in beautiful County Wicklow, the Garden of Ireland. And we're here to take another look at some of the installations around here, for want of a better word. And this area, of course, has been, well, it's been known to have a certain
visitor that comes, likes to drop by unannounced from time to time. Very well known to the locals, I believe. Very much on a where is said person, where are they hiding out? But this has many deep connections to the shall we say, the Clinton Health Initiative.
Exactly.
Both here in the United States, in New York primarily, where the owner of the property, am I right?
Well, we're going to just keep everything, you know, speculative at the moment, but I think we'll put Bubba up in the air and give her a blast and let people see the area around here. What do you think?
Bubba Rosa, show us.
Welcome to the Devil's Glen.
You chat away there, Gemma. I'll just take her up.
Yeah, so we are now passing over the N11. And I think we're heading.
Give me one
just
second
see
here.
There now.
Chat away to the motorway there, yeah.
So you can see the motorway, the N11 motorway heading north for Dublin. Outstanding scenery around here, and it's just such a beautiful day. It's one of the first days of summer, even though the country is going into lockdown over the dreaded coronavirus. And we are just zooming in there on a property that has been associated with the Clintons. And you can see there, this is a very impressive mansion close to Wicklow town. Dublin Airport is within very, very easy reach. And this property has been associated with the Clintons through one of their very close associates, John Fitzpatrick.
Indeed.
The hotelier who has hotels in Manhattan, has hotels in Killiney. Killiney, to our American viewers, is the home of Bono. Another member, of course, of the Irish cabal. But the connections between John Fitzpatrick and Hillary Clinton are very impressive. They were first introduced to each other when he approached Hillary Clinton, who is the subject of very, very serious allegations of criminal activity, of course, as everyone in the United States knows, but not so much here because of the fake news media. We know that the state broadcaster was taken over by an American deep state agent who was running ABC's foreign news, and on the day after President Trump was elected, John Williams was appointed to head of RTE, which is the national state broadcaster fake news purveyor. And so we're just zooming in here on the mansion. As you can see, it has its own helipad. This is an impressive property, Rowan. It's
glorious. I've seen it was listed there some time ago in 2015. And was it 2015 when it was up for sale?
That's right. It was. Yeah, it's got an underground swimming pool, a fairly substantial basement, and it was described as the most Celtic tiger house in Ireland back at the height of the craziness here. And well, you know, for me this would be a very vulgar property, but some people would like it. It's more than 8,300 square foot, and it's spread over 3 floors. It's completely hidden from the road, so it offers a very high degree of privacy. And there's even a moat around it, Rowan, would you believe? A moat. So, but what is really interesting about this property is, and I think we're zooming in on it, heading
at the rear of the property where the main front door is, Also, we mentioned to you in our last broadcast there that the road now seems to be re-asphalted and stuff like that. And also on the property here now, new solar panels have been installed for self-sufficiency and being able to cater for their own power requirements should the need arise.
And of course, this is all speculative. We are having a look at this property because it has in the past been the subject of a location where the Clintons came. There was a private party held here for them, held by John Fitzpatrick and of course their other great, their donor Dennis O'Brien, who's their biggest Irish donor, very close connections to Haiti, and of course the biggest owner of private media in Ireland. Now, the other asset that this property has is an underground tunnel, and we're going to just take a little fly over that. We've been keeping an eye on this, and there has been a lot of remedial works done on it recently in the course of the last year. And of course Hillary Clinton is, along with Bill Clinton, is back and forth to Ireland. They're back and forth to Ireland all the time. Hillary Clinton was recently made the Chancellor of Queen's University Belfast. Disgraceful move given all of the allegations of corruption against her, the deletion of 33,000 emails from a private server being used while she was Secretary of State.
It also gave her access to travel around under the guise of representing Queen's University Belfast, who gave her the doctorate, and so it gave her sort of cover to move around on the pretense of representing the Queen's University Hospital. We also understand that she is she's due to testify under oath, thanks to the diligent work of Judicial Watch and Tom Fitton and his crew. She has been avoiding, and she will be able to push it off with her fabulous amount of wealth. But the fact that she does have to testify under oath means now that she will have to be located in the United States, or possibly if she's travelling around the world she'd have to be recalled, but as of yet we don't know where she is precisely.
That's right, and there's a very strong narrative in the States at the moment and around the world among people who are awake to what is happening, that this shutdown across America may also have something to do with the fact that there are serious arrests about to happen, and we're looking there at the entrance to the tunnel.
I'm going to bring us down to the front gate. Just bear with while I steady her up.
Of course, one of the last times Hillary Clinton was here was just after the Google scandal broke.
That's correct.
In which an Irish woman, Jen Janai, was caught on hidden camera saying that Google were going to ensure that President Trump did not win.
Isn't that interesting? Look at this. We now have foliage disguising the entrance to the gate, whereas none before. So it's been completely dressed. It's
been since we filmed here last. There's been a lot of works done on that.
All the groundworks here in this location has been finished. The machinery moved and the ground site replanted with a cover screen from the rival to give that amount of privacy that they require. But the last time we were here, Gemma, the entrance like this wasn't covered and draped in foliage to more or less mask that it's actually there. And there's electronic gates there, it seems to be there now as well. I'll be careful not to go too close. But as you can see, from the gates, the thing is completely masked as an overgrown natural edifice, which is unbelievable. So well,
unbelievable. And Rowan, we were just looking there at how a parcel of land, 1.9 acres. Now again, this may not have anything to do with John Fitzpatrick, who is the hotelier and close associate of the Clintons, who dealt directly with Huma Abedin. She was the conduit there, and anyone who's awake knows exactly what that lady has been involved in. But
just to make note,
we do not know, but we do know that a parcel of land was disposed of, these are the exact words, by Wicklow County Council to a John Fitzpatrick. And I wonder, is it that parcel of land on the other side of the motorway? Now, there would have been a tunnel there originally, Rowan, we believe, for the transfer of cattle across the motorway. But it seems that there's a lot of work, and they're certainly using that access point. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, I was just going to say, you could see here, and from our last visit now that the completion of works to the tunnel entrance, I just wanted to remind our viewers and your viewers that when we did last inspect here, we are now floating over the top of the motorway. When we did last, we were able to see through the gates. We have noticed, and I did notice, a door on the passage, in through the passageway to the right hand side. And I'll give you this visual aspect. You can see where the road concludes and joins into the estate. But I just want to give you the look of the premises itself and how it's built, that it seems to be raised.
It is on a very elevated site.
Easily bring in some sort of spare tunnelling there, maintenance shaft of some description possibly. But again, like I say, just on speculating on that.
We'll get to the bottom of all of that. I was talking about the Google connections there. Of course, Google being massive donors to the Clintons. And we know now that President Trump has put in 1,700 engineers into Google, which appears to have been unlocked.
Yes.
A lot of information that was being kept from the public is now available on Google. But when that Google scandal broke, and there was an Irish woman, Jen Janai, who was, as I was saying, recorded saying that they were going to do everything basically to get the Democrats back in. She came over to Ireland when that story broke, and Hillary Clinton followed quickly behind. This is all just, of course, a coincidence. But did Hillary Clinton stay in this property? We must ask these questions because Ireland is treated as the Arkansas of Europe.
Absolutely,
Ireland is the most corrupt country in Western Europe, in the West. It is associated with so much paedophilia that has been covered up, murders of children that have been covered up.
100%.
So we must ask these questions. So this is a property, as I said, that has been associated in the past with the Clintons.
Will we head back towards the tunnel, and then maybe you want to bring us over to the collection of buildings on the far side?
Yeah, I think we can look also, though, at the other property very, very close by, and one of the nearest properties to that particular mansion is a place where, in inverted commas, asylum seekers are being kept.
That's correct, yeah.
Children.
And we discovered that quite by accident.
Well, we do have our contacts as well.
We do indeed.
But
I'm just going to find the
Ireland,
road
as
there.
you know, is undergoing the replacement of the Irish people through the
migration crisis.
Mass immigration, and we are slowly becoming a minority in our own country that we fought for hundreds of years to become the owners of and to have our own national sovereignty. So to explain to our audience, what they're doing is they're putting in these so-called direct provision centres where they put hundreds of migrants who are not fleeing war or violence in most cases. And interestingly, we found a lovely country house property which had been used for tourists, because this is, as you can see, the scenery is spectacular. This is a heartland for Irish tourism. But for some reason, this property has been turned into a location for African migrants and other nationalities.
Following up along the driveway, the entrance into the building here now, you can see it's a very long driveway all the way through to the property right there at the end. We're going to head.
Phenomenal piloting.
We're making our way down there, but it's an awfully long walk. But the few seekers that we did see here, the few people coming and going, have to make this walk daily to get to and from for shopping. But we're freely allowed to move and come and go at their own pleasure, at their own leisure. And then they would come back here to this location here in the evening. And at the time, I remember there were visiting tourists still going, so it was probably operating under the 50-50 process, pretty much like Rosslare Harbour did. And so you would have had attending guests and also asylum seekers in and around this facility now as we fly over the top of it now. And we have since learned that it is shut down now and is completely isolated due to the crisis. But again, all the occupants are being held indoors. Is this another location for overspill from Dublin? And are we still trafficking and are we still moving migrants in and around in the middle of a crisis? Like Corresteveen has also just taken in 168 new residents that were taken out of Dublin, where they compromised, where they medically screamed. So there should have been no movements of people or transported around like this. But I'll turn it back over to you,
well,
Jimmy.
You're absolutely right. And of course, we're not suggesting for 1 second that anyone is being trafficked from that property. We did see individuals walking around the local town of Ashford who were associated with this asylum migrant destination, for want of a better word.
Well, you can see all the chalets and separate building premises that they have that was once used for standalone B&B stays or overnight stays, but pretty lack of movement. Everybody is being, I suppose, told to self-isolate and stay indoors. But my question is always, and I said a tweet out to Simon Harris this morning, who has been lauding himself and has got the chattering classes of our mainstream media lauding his handling of this situation. I remind you that the airport is still open and that he invited 1,000 delegates from Italy to come and have a jamboree being defended, and also never required or ordered the testing kits for the coronavirus, even though the government were quite possibly well aware of it since January, because if you follow my Twitter thread, you'll notice that Boris Johnson was informed of the virus in January. What did our government know? Why haven't they acted? And why hasn't the airport and all flights been banned since January? We're going to head back up towards the drink.
And I think just show the proximity of this immigrant destination to the property associated that has been associated with the Clintons. And as I was saying, it is believed to be owned by John Fitzpatrick, who was a member of Hillary Rodham Clinton's finance committee during the last election, a long-time supporter of hers, along with Dennis O'Brien, who owns the private media in Ireland and is the subject of very serious allegations. And of course, we also have to ask, Rowan, the Irish people, through the government, gave between 5 and 10 million euros of their money, without any say, of course, to the Clinton Foundation, which is the subject of high-level corruption now. The Irish people must get their money back.
Exactly.
What was the government thinking through Irish aid?
I remember there, and I remember the Irish aid gave 100 million to the Global Health Initiative. That has never been accounted for in the Clintons' books, and as far as I'm aware, has not been accounted for here through the Irish aid scheme. And that, if you follow along the track record of Charles Ortel, who has been following that story closely and has exposed huge corporations and businesses in his time as a accountant, forensic analyst, and has exposed huge corruption with major American stations, he is very much convinced that the Global Health Initiative is nothing but a pay-for-play scheme and will be exposed.
A slush fund.
Indeed.
And of course, John Fitzpatrick is a hardcore member of.
I'm just sorry, Gemma. I don't want to cut across because we're restricted on flight time. I'm just coming up the main entrance driveway back to the property, and I've just shown you the flight from the Immigrant Council, and then we've got some movement there actually in the drive. So yeah, keep an eye there. John Fitzpatrick, as I say, is regularly put on to RTE to talk about his relationship with the Clintons. With that, we're returning home.
Maybe he could now shed a bit of light on what's going on. Let's ask John Fitzpatrick to come out and talk about the allegations against the Clintons. Absolutely.
What is his? Okay, as I bring Bubba Ruse in here now, because we are running out of time, let me focus on this gentleman. And I'll bring us down and we'll finish off. And I'm looking for... She's just coming down now. I can't remember how to turn the sound off, but that's not the weather. Let me just fly overhead.
Such a beautiful day for flight.
How about one big quick look before we get this aerial perspective? Have we got the time? We do. I'll just go up again. As you say, that's the road heading back towards Wicklow, down towards Waterford.
Heading south.
You have the property over there on that side of the bank, again with the tunnel system coming down along the end of that road down there. Sorry, down this road down here, ladies and gentlemen. You can see it's easy access in from both sides as we look down towards Wexford in that direction. My apologies. You can see the tunnel entrance with the separate drive-through up then to the private road, and then leading on up to the property situated at the top of the breast there now. So I'm going to bring Bubba Ruza in there if you want to round us off there, Gemma.
Well, as I was saying, very strange times. 150,000 sealed indictments being activated, I suspect, at the moment. And people need to look at coronavirus, realise there's a lot of distraction going on. This could be a potential massive change for the world as we have known it, and let's hope that it is. You're all familiar with the Clinton body count. If there's 2 more additions tonight, it'll be me and Rowan.
We fear nothing.
We fear nothing. We certainly don't fear those people, that's for sure. But hopefully that's given people a glimpse of this little parcel of Ireland. Of course, there's many other locations that are associated with the Clintons, and we're keeping an eye on all of them.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, I'm just focusing there on the drive. Well, Gemma, it was a pleasure working with you again, and thanks for bringing out Bubba Ruza out in there. I look forward to our
social distancing all the way.
Okay, guys, I'll talk to you again. We'll see you again on our next broadcast.
Yeah,
and
thanks,
we'll travel around, and maybe we'll do some more work again in the future, please God.
For sure. Take care, everyone. Bus.
Bus.